Day forecast meteorologist Jonathan Kagas joining us.
Hey, it's going to be hot. It's going to be dry, guys, over the next 7 days. Really not much change. You see a subtle drop in temperatures after we warm things back up today and tomorrow as expected. There's a very weak cold front coming back through, so we're back to the low to mid 80s on Wednesday and Thursday. Rain chances with that front limited at best, maybe a sprinkle, but most of us are going to be on the drier side. Then we're back to the mid to upper 80s to close out the work week. Getting into Easter Sunday, we're pushing 90 degrees, and then we'll likely jump back into the upper 80s and lower 90s again to start the new work week. The one thing you don't see on here is the drought situation that continues to grow. We're going to break that down further as we need some rain bad, and unfortunately, over the next 7 to maybe even 10 days, guys, not much, if any, in sight.
Okay, good to know. Jonathan, thank you. Well, a bizarre balloon accident is being blamed for sparking a 200-acre brush fire near a neighborhood in St. Cloud. And some of those neighbors contacted the News 6 help desk, telling us the smoke just seemed unbearable.
Yeah, so News 6's Laverne McGee met up with the forest and fire rangers who say the air in the area is safe.
So down here, there's a lot of smoke going on, a lot of fires.
Chris Kingard showed me some leftover burning bushes near his home in St. Cloud off Narcoossee Road that was caused by a spark from a helium balloon. Osceola County fire officials told me that balloon started this fire after getting tangled in a power line on Friday. Firefighters had contained the fire after it burned about 200 acres over the weekend. Sky 6 shows what it looks like today.
Some of the amber and ashes about like 30 feet tall, like just fire coming up. There's a lot of smoke, and a lot of the neighborhood, basically the whole Sunbrook neighborhood, is covered in smoke.
50 to 100 feet away from a house, they had to put out a pretty significant sized fire.
The people who live in this house behind me aren't home. I spoke to them through their Ring doorbell. They were kind enough to let me into their backyard because the smoke is right behind them and you can see all sorts of ashes in their backyard. The smoke is still burning my nose. I'm wearing sunglasses because my eyes are burning, and you can see how close that smoldering is to their backyard.
Osceola County Forest Area Supervisor David Palmer showed me the area where his crews have been working. Despite the smoke and ash in the air, he says it's safe.
This is day 4, and it's in a base swamp. It's in a smoke. It's going to smoke for a few days now, and there's nothing we can do about that because we cannot access into the base swamp.
They're a little stressed out because, there's a fire in their backyard, right? But everything is, everything's under control.
Laverne McGee, News 6.
3 months after a party got out of control at a principal's house, we are getting our first look at video of the criminal allegations against the principal and this teacher. So today, that teacher started a new job at a different school within the same district.
As you might imagine, that decision is bringing even more controversy to this story. News 6's James Sparvero continues his coverage at Saturn Elementary School in Cocoa.
Oh, why don't you put me in Officer Brown? Tell him put me in handcuffs. What the is wrong with them?
Once she gets on camera, there was a lot I had to censor from Carly Anderson's mouth.
Well, I'm a teacher.
This is our first look, thanks to the state attorney's office, when they say that Anderson berated first responders who were trying to help an intoxicated teen.
I'm concerned about a child that's being put into a machine, into one of these vehicles, and it's none of my business. You say something to them.
Well, they can't disclose information.
You tell. Okay. Cocoa Beach has gone mad and nasty.
And after all this happened, I tried to talk to the teacher. Are you Carly? I'm looking for Carly Anderson. She walked away from me, but then she went on Inside Edition.
Did you lose your job from this incident, from the charges?
Essentially, yes. I'm retired today.
Well, that didn't last long, because now Brevard Public School says Carly Anderson teaches here at Saturn Elementary. On Inside Edition, she said she wasn't at the party at the principal's house.
I was not attending the party.
And now we have the video. Officer Demetrius Brown raises his voice too.
No, I was here hanging out at this party. I mean, what the
You're here with your boss having a party with 200 kids who are drinking.
Police recommended charges including child neglect, just like the principal, but the state attorney's office settled on prosecuting Anderson for misdemeanor charges, disorderly conduct and disorderly intoxication. The state attorney cleared Carly Anderson of the felony charges, Department of Children and Family Services cleared Miss Anderson as well. She's a certified teacher, and as of today, she's been placed by the district back into a classroom. So then I called Ashley Fernandez. I found out that Ashley has been organizing a protest against placing Carly Anderson here.
Yes.
Ashley, why are you lining up parents at the start of school now in the morning and protesting?
Because first of all, they did not inform any of the parents. Nobody knew. I found out online. That alone is infuriating. And then the fact that she has not even seen her day in court yet.
And that parent told me she's planning on lining up every morning here before school starts with other parents. And since Anderson's back in a classroom, I asked the district for an update on the status of Hill Brodigan, the former Roosevelt principal. They told me she's still suspended without pay. In Brevard County, I'm James Sparvero, News 6.
Only on 6 tonight, we told you the price of using those express lanes down the center of I-4 was going to shoot up when FDOT switched to congestion pricing. But the question is, did it actually happen? FDOT started charging more for the tolled lanes in February based on how busy the free lanes were.
Yeah, and some drivers worry they could pay as much as $21 for a one-way trip down I-4. So News 6 anchor Eric Von Anken pulled the numbers to find out how much drivers are actually paying.
For all the hype and all the fear that the price of a ride in the often empty express lanes once FDOT switched to dynamic tolling was going to skyrocket, we got the numbers. That didn't happen. In fact, not even close. The base price for a segment in the express lanes is 50 cents. That has not changed, and I should tell you that there are 7 segments in each direction on I-4. What has changed is FDOT says when those free lanes, the general lanes, get bogged down, they'll charge as much as $3 per segment. But we haven't gotten anywhere near that maximum. The highest a segment has gone is a quarter.
FDOT tells me traffic has been heavy enough to trigger dynamic pricing 4 days a week on average, during rush hour, as you'd expect, in the mornings and evenings. And in certain segments of the 21-mile express lane stretch, it happened more.
Here's where it happened the most. 17 times tolls went from 50 cents to 75 cents here in the Rio Grande segment, which is just past John Young Parkway. 17 times it happened in the first 3 weeks that dynamic tolling went into effect. This is where it happened second most, 9 times, the Lee Road area. And it kind of makes sense that most of the traffic jams are occurring north and south of downtown Orlando. And this was interesting. FDOT also told me there was a single instant last week where the sign read $1, but drivers were actually only being charged the 50-cent base rate. The reason? Because traffic was crawling. It's a state law. You cannot be charged more if traffic in the express lanes is moving slower than 40 miles an hour. And if you're still one of those drivers who says, I have not paid for the express lanes and I never will, that's fine. But FDOT wants to remind you that the express lanes have made life better for everybody, even the people who take only the free lanes, because it has siphoned traffic away from those free lanes, especially when traffic gets bogged down, lowering commute times for everybody along the entire 21-mile stretch of express lane. Along I-4 in Altamont Springs, Eric Von Anken, News 6.
I like free, but I also like to keep moving.
Yeah, I mean, who has time, though, to figure out? They posted it was $1 when it was really 50. Nobody's going through
and when you're paying
and able
attention to that,
check.
you're not really paying attention to what you're doing on the road, too, so it's another
Either I
distraction.
still avoid I-4 like the dentist.
Well, don't avoid the dentist. That's maybe something else.
I know you love the dentist. It's weird.
It's not weird. It's healthy. Well, it's Central Florida's #1 news website, clickorlando.com. Let's take a look at what is trending. Blue Origin's all-women flight crew blasted off this morning, a journey 62 miles above the Earth. CBS anchor Gayle King joined pop icon Katy Perry and Lauren Sanchez for the flight. And these are pictures and video from their return to Earth. Look at them. They're weightless.
They're having a good time. Before coming down, these astronauts were able to unbuckle and float in the capsule for about 4 minutes before returning to their seats. Apparently, Katy Perry sang Louis Armstrong's "What a Wonderful World." Also, not quite as good as I just did. But
yeah.
Also, part of the crew, former NASA rocket scientist Aisha Bowe. first person from the Bahamas to ever be put into space. Let me ask you this. What did you think?
You know me, I loved I watched it.
I know you did.
I was nervous for everyone, but poor Gail, she looked like she was
terrified.
voluntold to do it. And then once it was over, it was such a big relief for her. She looked so happy, and she said she was really happy that she had done it, because you only get one time to be the first to do something, right?
Yeah.
And that's the first all-female crew. And she was going to regret it. She's like, she was so happy she did it.
Yeah, but she
I
wasn't
loved it.
happy she was doing it on the way in.
No,
I
sir.
can tell you that.
I'm like, she is concerned.
You know what she looked like? She looked like she was going to the dentist.
Here are some of the other trending stories right now over on clickorlando.com. Florida lawmakers want to get rid of sales tax for most clothing and shoes. A proposed bill would add those items to the list of tax-exempt items like food and medicine. The author believes it would bring relief to a lot of families.
How about this one? A new bill would make property owners liable if a tree on their land falls over and hits your neighbor's property. To help people prepare, the legislation would also allow any property owner to remove a tree from their land, even if it crosses over into another property. Can you imagine during hurricanes specifically the implications?
But that's why they tell you to trim everything, make sure your trees are healthy, or get rid of it. And some people are saying the cost to trim a tree is expensive. Well, I argue it's more expensive to remove that tree from your neighbor's house or yard or their roof.
This is true. Those big oaks that fall over and crash into
Could be a
neighbors.
real problem.
Could be interesting. Well, if you build it, they will come. And if you ask for help, Central Florida always answers.
Yeah, we sure do. Cracked turf and uneven surfaces are a common sight at a field for a special needs baseball league. But donations from the community are saving this field and getting results for those players.
First, though, we're calling about your overdue taxes. That's a call that the IRS will never make to you. A series of voicemails, the latest attempt by thieves to get you to pay money you don't owe.
Don't fall for it. You're watching News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results in Lake Nona, Christmas, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Monday evening traffic alert. With good weather comes heavy construction, so get ready for it. Florida Turnpike, both north and southbound. We will not have a complete shutdown, but you're going to see lane closures like hit and miss. So you're going to be going one way and then it's going to push you over to another way. So just make sure we're paying attention. And then the same thing will apply out here along 417. I'm Trooper Steve with the News 6 traffic alert. Drive safely, and I'll catch you in the morning.
Well, as the tax filing deadline approaches, watch out for a voicemail message saying you owe back taxes. Thieves are after your personal information.
That is the word from the Better Business Bureau. Investigator Louis Bolden has this week's schemes and ripoffs alert.
It's a call no one wants to get, leaving a message no one wants to hear.
We are calling about your overdue back tax filings.
Especially during tax time.
This is a notification call about your back tax debt that must be settled before the end of the month.
The Better Business Bureau Scam Tracker has received 116 consumer complaints about these voicemail messages in less than a month.
If we've received that many mentioning the same identical voicemail, we know that it is far spread.
Holly Salmons is CEO and president of Better Business Bureau of Central Florida.
What we want viewers to know is the IRS is not going to reach out to you by phone. They're not going to reach out to you by text message, certainly not through social media.
And if you call today, we can help you avoid any wage garnishment.
But certainly scammers are best known for using scare tactics and for using fear, and that's exactly what we're seeing in this case.
The calls are likely coming from automated call centers, and Salmon says the idea is to get you to pay something you don't actually owe to the IRS or to get your personal information. If you think you might owe back taxes, go directly to irs.gov to check. Remember, don't fall for the scheme, don't get ripped off, but if you do, email me at lbolden@wkmg.com. I'm Louis Bolden, News 6.
Here's a live look now over Daytona Beach. Just drink this in for
Wow.
a second. It's gorgeous out there. No
Beautiful.
clouds in the sky. I left and my daughter had got home from high school and was tanning in our backyard today. She said you know what's weird? The kids track the UV index more than any other aspect of weather. She's always checking to see, oh, the UV's at 11. I don't even know what this means.
That's impressive. I mean,
That's great.
Both
Is she
of my
maxed out
daughters are into
sunscreen
that.
too?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I would.
I was gonna say sunscreen all the time, no
Yeah,
matter
yeah.
what that
Oh,
UV
no.
index is.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Perfect.
Excellent.
That's great. I never
Great.
tracked that when I was a younger person.
No,
I
they
do
want the
now.
most sun possible.
Yeah.
My kids are going to look like catcher's mitts when they're like 23.
Let's stop that right now.
Wow.
Go tell you tell them. They won't listen to me.
Just assume that, every day from this point on, it's maxed out in Central Florida. Because, it's basically like summertime in the north.
SPF 100.
That's right. I need that or else I incinerate whenever I walk outside and I will be burnt to a crisp. Proof of that happened this weekend and I use SPF 40 and it still didn't work for me. Anyway, downtown Orlando, it's a live look for us with our Light Orlando delivering hope. Skycam temperatures back into the middle 80s. Lots of sunshine out there. The breeze out of the west-southwest right now at about 10 miles an hour. We're at 85 in Sanford. Mount Dora, a nice night to be walking around tonight. We're at 84 degrees. Palm Coast, we're at 78. 80 degrees at the Cape. We're along the Space Coast. We're hanging in the upper 70s. That breeze feeling pretty nice outside if you're walking along the coast. Tomorrow morning, we're back to around 60. This is pretty much where we should be for this time of the year. So kind of got back on schedule here with our average temperature when we wake up. Skies are mainly going to be on the clear side. Rain chances, 0%. You're going to see that a lot on the 7-day forecast coming up. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by the Florida Lottery.
Temperatures staying in the mid to some of us trying to sneak out to the upper 80s tomorrow, especially in Palm Bay, Holopah, we're back to 87, 86 in Winter Haven, the Villages, we're at 84. The breeze will kick up just a little bit extra. We have a cold front approaching late tomorrow into early Wednesday, and that will kick the breeze back up again. So here 6, 7 o'clock this evening, again, forget about that. We are nice and dry. Just a few passing clouds are what was out there as the sun goes down tonight. Those clouds will leave it. It needs the heating of the day to keep those kind of clouds. So you saw those puffy ones, those cotton ball ones. Those come down easily whenever the sun sets this evening. 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, just a few passing clouds in the mix. Otherwise, we are dry. Here's our front. You see that by this very narrow ribbon of clouds and a shower or two in the green. Otherwise, most of us are dry as that front comes through. That will also, unfortunately, help to kick up the fire threat again as we bring even drier air back through. And the wind's a little bit stronger tomorrow and Wednesday. So again, be mindful of that over the next few days. Update here, Keith Byram Drought Index. This is one that's cumulative. So it's really from the start of when things got dry to where we are right now. So the numbers fluctuate based on the long term here. So it keeps things like wind speed and the relative humidity, the day-to-day stuff out of it. But it's important, once these numbers get above 500, that's when we typically see the burn bans get into place. For Lake County, for example, we need to be below 500 for 5 consecutive days for that burn ban to come back down. We're nowhere close to that. Unfortunately, we're going in the wrong direction. We've joined the 500 club in Volusia County, unfortunately, and we are getting close to that in Seminole and in Orange. Brevard also ticking up. Marion, we are also ticking up. And unfortunately, rain chances really over the next 7 days are slim to none, and really beyond that as well. There's the evidence of our subtle cold front in our 7-day forecast. Mid-80s back to the lower 80s on Wednesday, 84 on Thursday, and then the middle 80s come back on Friday, and then we really crank up the thermostat heading into Easter weekend, pushing 90 on Sunday, and then hanging around 90 degrees, guys, on Monday.
All right, pretty good looking forecast.
That 90 happened fast, though. All right, thank you, Jonathan. Our next stop on the road is Claremont. So if you live there, we want to hear from you. What makes your community so special? What are your concerns? And how can we get results for you? Let us know at clickorlando.com/hitstheroad. Fill out the form and don't be surprised if and when you hear from us. Keep streaming. We'll be right back.
Coming up in the morning, could a multi-million-dollar motocross track soon be coming to Central Florida?
Where supporters want to see it built and why critics say the multi-million-dollar price tag isn't worth it.
Plus your weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We'll see you for News 6 Mornings starting at 5.
A few weeks ago, News 6 anchor Justin Wormuth told you about a special needs baseball league that really needs some help. Central Florida Miracle League plays at Trotters Park in Orlando, but after being there for 20 years, the league was at risk of folding.
That's because their field was on its last leg. I mean, literally crumbling, making it unsafe for the players, especially those in wheelchairs. So Justin put the word out. They were looking for donations and the community. got results.
We wouldn't be at the place we are now without your team.
Central Florida Miracle League was down to their last out.
I don't think the league would have survived.
Their baseball field in such bad shape, it became a safety hazard.
We want them to have a good time here, not to come out here and get hurt. Without changing this field out, we would have to fold the league.
That didn't sit right with me, and that's why we shared their struggles the day before their spring season started. The response from the community, almost immediate.
So many people saw that interview, and not just from us sending it out, through the league, just people coming back to us saying, hey, we saw the interview, we want to help.
Donations poured in by the dozens, $5 here, $100 there, just chipping away at the league's goal of raising the remaining $80,000 for a new turf field.
Not everyone is going to take the response you did. So for that, we are humbled and appreciative.
Nearly $4,000 was donated within 24 hours. Then, 2 power hitters stepped to the plate.
It floors me that they've been able to function, and so I'm really glad that they're going to get something, and I'm excited for them.
After seeing our story posted on Representative Anna Eskamani's Facebook page, Jesse Eisner jumped into action, reaching out to his friend and business partner, Matt Steinberg.
So we saw it was about $80,000, we can do that math, and that's when I called up Matt, and I said, how about you and I, we split this, what they need to just get them there, like immediately. So each of us will put up $40,000, and he said, absolutely. It was a relatively quick conversation.
Yeah. Almost a no-brainer?
Yeah.
What was the initial reaction when you got that news?
I broke down.
Did you?
Yes. As you can see, it's coming up literally at the seams.
Yeah, I see that.
We have big chunks coming up out here. Cracking.
I was there when Eisner met league president Mike Houlihan and director Jeanette Borbola for the very first time. Borbola, whose son plays in the league, says they hit a fundraising wall before the floodgates opened.
So to see that we did get some positive impact was very enlightening and showed us there is hope. There is people that understand.
We hit a plateau. We're not in a plateau anymore. We're getting this done, and it is going to be done this year, and it's going to be done by the fall. And we expect this field to not look like this, and it won't. It won't be wet, and we're going to play ball, and it's just amazing. So thank you.
At Trotters Park in Orlando, Justin Mormuth getting results, News 6.
Yeah, thank you for sure.
Yeah.
The community always steps up, and something like that's incredible.
I can't think of a better use of this medium right here than doing
do something like that.
That's awesome.
All right, another thank you. Thank you for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
Remember, we break news at clickorlando.com. We'll see you tonight at 11 o'clock.